Dara Breen. Joined this week are Rhys James, Deborah Frances-White and Tom Allen, Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Deborah, which category would you like?
Oh, Dara, I think I'll have politics.
Excellent. Your category is politics, and the answer is about 12. What is the question?
Is it how many tins of spam will be in our weekly food rations post-Brexit?
Oh, Mrs. Upper Class here.
Is it how many aubergine emojis can you put in a text to your plumber before he changes his number?
Is it what's a really bad time to phone a cuckoo?
Is it how many people have eaten in Zizzi's in Salisbury this year?
It's how many words do the Eskimos have for slush?
Is it if I was asked how many people are on a football team, how many I'd hazard a guess at?
Is it how many pages of my Nuns Having Fun calendar are stuck together?
Is it how many years does a woman have to do stand-up comedy before she's allowed on a panel show?
Good point. I was doing comedy 10 years when I got on the show, so let's not get too carried away.
But I am 12.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, OK, sorry.
Is it how many times a day is Prince Philip poked with a stick by an anxious footman?
Is it if Doctor Who is eating a pizza, on average, how many times is he asked if he wants Dalek bread with that?
How old was I when my parents stopped saying, "It's a boy," when people came to visit me?
Is it how many Jews trust Jeremy Corbyn?
Yeah, the question was how many Jews? I thought this is going to be an interesting moment.
Yeah, I think it's how many Tory MPs have threatened to resign if Boris Johnson becomes leader.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many Conservative MPs are threatening to resign if Boris Johnson became leader. The MPs issued their warning after Johnson sparked outrage with comments in a newspaper article about Theresa May's Brexit strategy. So what were his outrageous comments this week?
He used a metaphor where he described the Constitution being wrapped in a suicide vest and the detonator being handed to Brussels.
Well, if you hand the detonator to somebody else, it's not a suicide vest anymore. That's not the main point. That's
No, but I think we need accuracy.
Is very important.
Accuracy in our metaphors.
People are getting very offended by the use of, you know, figurative language lately. Just people using metaphors, and there's no need to get so angry. It's like he also said that the UK's battle with Europe was like a 7-stone weakling doing battle with a 500-pound gorilla. I wasn't offended that he used the term 7-stone weakling. Dara, were you offended that he used the term 500?
He's really just trying to change the subject, isn't he? I mean, it is effectively the equivalent of going, "Oh, look, a lion!"
From what, pray tell?
Well, I think his marital problems, because what he did was he wrapped his marriage in a suicide vest and handed the detonator to the first blonde who came up and said hello.
You never really hear about suicide sleeves, do you?
You think
it's always vest-based. Don't suicide bombers get cold?
I'd imagine their primary concern.
They've got a long way to travel.
The gillet is the chosen item of choice for your outfit.
You say gillet?
Do you not mean gilet?
I don't say
It's a
gillet.
gilet, Dara. Oh, my
gillet.
goodness. Suddenly, leaving the EU sounds very appealing.
There's a reason you booked a woman and a gay, and it's so we can tell you it's gilet.
I'm not walking around saying gilet.
None of this would have happened with suicide sleeves.
You know, gilet, the best a man can get.
I hope you're not poking fun at us when you three are sat there like 3 dads outside the changing room in Marks and Spencer.
OK, I'll turn to the team of the lady in the game. Why is he so attractive? I don't get it.
Sorry.
I think he's so well.
Before we proceed, this team is not known as the Lady and the Gay.
It's the lady in the gay and our adopted son.
And a kid, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
This team is known as Diversity.
We don't know, Dara, is the answer. I can't look at that man and think, oh, if he were bearing down on me, I'd change my mind.
I imagine if he was bearing down on you, you'd change your mind about a lot of things. You would have completely reassessed a lot of choices you'd made in life that led you to have him come bearing down
Yeah,
on you.
listen, I haven't thought out the plot. I've just cut to the last scene and I don't like it.
It'd make a very different series of Bodyguard if he had been the politician in question.
Oh, yes. I don't think I'd like to see him fingering himself in an adjoining hotel door. No, thank you.
Can I say, for many reasons, spoiler alert. You've spoiled my ears. That's how bad.
It is quite a clever trick, though, isn't it? His hair. I mean, because it finally does explain the hair. Because if you look like you've just got out of bed, who's to know that 90% of the time that is what you have just done?
That's actually...
It's amazing when you consider Boris Johnson's impact on the world, given that he is basically a mop that a wizard enchanted to have an erection.
It's bizarre. There's a dossier, apparently. Number 10 created a dossier before he was to run in 2016. Created a dossier about him.
A dossier, or as you call it, a dosser.
A dossier.
It's such a missed opportunity, right? This is a document designed to get rid of Boris that is about his sexual history. They should have called it Get Your Johnson Out.
In other news, how has Labour MP Chuka Umunna upset some of his party members?
Is it that he said call off the dogs about some of the policies there? And everybody went, how dare you call us dogs? Rather than listening to what he had to say, they were, how dare you call us dogs? That's outrageous, we're not dogs. And all it made me think was, like, wouldn't it be wonderful if all politicians were dogs? Like, can you imagine Brexit negotiations? Like, how could Barnier say no to, like, an adorable Andrex puppy demanding things from the European Union? It would be lovely. Like, imagine, like, a Dachshund as the foreign secretary or something. It'd be like, I'd really get engaged with politics again.
I love that that's your... I love that that's your first thought, that if we had dogs negotiating for us, they'd be cute puppies, not vicious Rottweilers. Like, you've gone for the charm offensive as opposed to the sort of...
That's the thing with heterosexual men.
Yeah.
They always go for aggression, when actually charm can take you an awfully long way.
What do we think? Dachshund or Dachshund?
As I said that, I thought one of those pricks is going to pick me up on it.
Some dogs do make good politicians. Look at Churchill.
None of this is any more ridiculous than hearing John McDonnell treat the call off the dogs as being a seriously calling Labour supporters dogs. That was possibly a low point. In a point would be, honestly, the Labour Party, oh my God, would you get your head out of your collective arses? There was a national debate going on. But this was particularly fun to watch him go, oh, you called us dogs. No, it was a metaphor. You know, it's a common turn of phrase.
Do you think he goes to work and literally crouches in the shadow of a filing cabinet because he can't understand a metaphor?
All the time that he's slightly out of the light. I am the shadow. No, John, it's just a title. No, for I am the shadow.
Especially as someone who's been accused of institutional racism. Don't call him a dark horse, he'll lose his shit.
Well, Corbyn's been accused of anti-Semitism, but he's promised to learn Hebrew in due course.
Have you had the pleasure of an attack ever by those Corbyn supporters who are quite attack dog about the whole thing? Have you ever had the online joy of their company? Even as we say this, and I'm looking straight down the lens at you, there is somebody with a stopwatch at the moment timing how much time we spent on Boris Johnson versus how much time we spent on the Labour Party. There's literally a ton of those people, and they write in going, well, 6 minutes, 37 seconds, and then the Labour Party got 7 minutes, 14 seconds. Oh, BBC bias.
It's great that they write those.
You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. I want you to own the moment. Own the moment that I looked down the lens at you and said, "Go on, look at it. Look at this. Watch this seconds tick up. Watch that, right? As I'm talking directly to you, you big Aegis, right? I got a grief once because we mentioned anyway. I mentioned the Corbyn and an ineffectual thing that Corbyn did, and someone tagged me into a tweet going, "Well, clearly Darby despises the poor."
To be fair, you're well known in comedy circles for despising
they
the
don't
poor.
know that. They don't know that I do actually despise the poor.
Well,
So the Tories are in a mess, Labour in a mess, but Vince Cable is invincible, according to Spellcheck.
OK, before we move on to the next topic, we have to note one small thing, by the way, which is actually, Deborah, this, by sheer fluke, but still a happy thing, you are our 100th guest we've ever had on Mock the Week. And possibly the cheapest trophy ever made.
I'm the 100th guest and the 4th woman, and I'm
I know.
very
And I know that you're quite hurt if we, all right, we got you one as well, because you've done them all.
Oh, me?
Yeah, so we got you the attendance award. Okay.
The quality of this metal is amazing.
At the end of that round, the party's going to end here in Milton. Now, we play a round called How Much Chalk Would a Novichok Chalk if a Novichok could chalk? This game involves Tom and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is parties.
Hello. I get invited to parties. I get invited to hen parties quite a lot. I get invited as the token gay. I know. I never seem to get invited to the stag parties. I don't know why. Maybe people think I wouldn't be very good at zip wiring through North Wales. A little while ago, I got invited to a friend of mine's hen party, a friend of mine from school, and it was being organised by her chief bridesmaid, Emma. And Emma is, how would you describe her? Passive-aggressive? I knew I had to go to this hen party because suddenly I was added to a WhatsApp group. What's up? I'll tell you what's up. I looked at my phone. I had 324 notifications from people I did not know. I'm in this group with the mother of the bride. We've all got to call her Mum, her sister, Auntie Wendy, and then they're all sending selfies to each other, except Auntie Wendy can't send a selfie, can she? She sends a video of her eyebrow. Twice. It's used up all my data, all my storage is gone. Then something pink covers the lens at the end of the video, which you assume is a finger, but you don't like to ask. Then I had to go to this hen cottage, right? This dream hen cottage, which was just outside Reading. I pulled up, I donned a penis headdress, put a pink sash on, got out of the car. Right? Emma was answering the door in a steadily escalating pitch of excitement. Oh my God, hi, you look amazing, coming in. Oh my God, hi, you look amazing, coming in. Oh, hi, Tom. Rude. Then I had to go and introduce myself to all the other hens, and if there is one thing worse than being invited to a hen party as the token gay, it's if they've invited another token gay. And who was it? This guy, Kevin, right? He's a dancer. He's got a hat on. He's a better gay than me. You can't compete with that. Then we've got to go off and do all these activities. We started the day with a guacamole making class. What the hell is a guacamole making class? You can't chop an avocado. It's basically just mush. Then we had to go to a tango lesson. I can't do it. I haven't got the hips for it. Kevin can. He's actually very talented. Then, right, we had to go on a gondola ride round Reading. I mean, it's hardly Venice, is it, when you're going past a Matalan? Auntie Wendy's going, oh, it's just like St. Mark's Square, isn't it? Or is that Asda car park? Anyway, I wish I had been on a zip wire somewhere in Wales. Thank you.
OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is travel. There you go.
So I'm in Brazil, and I bought some fruit off some of the indigenous people, and they turned round and said, people who bought fruit on Amazon also bought these sausages. I don't know if you've ever fallen asleep while eating a plate of broccoli and woken up and thought you were in a forest. What's worse than that, though, is falling asleep in a forest, and waking up and trying to finish the broccoli. The Paris Metro. That's the weirdest Tesco I've been in. Easter Island, that's a difficult place to find, but it's in a different place every year. The weirdest thing I ever saw, though, I was in Reading and I saw this hen party. Thanks, that doesn't normally work.
Direction of gold! Oh, very, very good. Points there for Tom Allen at the end. Go on to back. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
I think he's so sad about getting teased about having small hands because he's so sensitive. He's had an operation and turned both his little hands into one big hand.
She's saying, no, sorry, I don't buy remote controls at the door.
I think he's probably saying, sorry, this one's out of order. I blocked it.
Of course I know how to fly a plane. I'm flying this plane right now.
Is this Trump finding out the only in-flight movie is Black Panther?
Is he saying, can anyone help me straighten my trousers? The press is a disgrace.
It just looks like he's shouting, Ivanka, I need to be changed.
They know the actual answer.
It does look like they've airbrushed Vladimir Putin's cock out of that, though.
The answer is, that's Donald Trump.
Yes! That is... Yeah? Yes. This is US President Donald Trump chatting to reporters on Air Force One recently. His presidency has been rocked by revelations by an anonymous New York Times article and a book by respected Watergate journalist Bob Woodward that portrayed Trump's White House in disarray. What were the sort of revelations then?
There weren't any revelations whatsoever. It is exactly what we thought was going on in the White House.
It just says things like he flies off the handle and he's irrational and other things I've personally picked up from Twitter.
And it's what the book says. They called him the mayor of Crazy Town. And apparently Trump was furious because he said, I'm the president of Crazy Town.
Yeah, he says the time of wanting to put the staff under lie detectors to find who the leak is, but apparently they're all broken.
Putting a lie detector into that White House is like putting a smoke alarm in a volcano.
How do lie detectors work, though? That suggests they're, like, existing on some sort of, like, lie rays.
It's like a gaydar.
Oh, it's like grinder. Like a grinder for liars.
It is, yeah.
Oh, OK.
One of the things it tests is how much your sphincter is retracted.
The lie detector?
Yeah.
Or grinder. Useful to know.
Yeah.
But nowadays he's got to just try and catch people out. Right, so he's got to just make them want to own up to writing this op-ed by just saying, yeah, that op-ed was rubbish. It was written by someone who probably has a really small dick and or vagina. And then just look around suspiciously.
Small vagina isn't an insult.
Yeah, but I've not really been with a lot of women, so I don't really know what you're talking about.
That's why you're on a team with the girl and the gay.
I am learning so much.
Yeah, you will.
Who else has annoyed President Trump this week?
Nike?
Nike have, and
They've
specifically...
chosen,
Isn't it Nike, Grandad?
Oh, sweet Jesus. Yes, it is the famous footwear and sports manufacturer, Nike. And who were they using? Whose name do you want to try to pronounce in case you're wrong?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick has decided that he's OK with child labour. And,
Oh, God, the poor guy, right?
yeah, I'm not really having a go. I'm wearing Converse, which are owned by Nike, so, you know, I have nothing I can actually...
Baseball shoes with a suit. Oh, quirky dad.
Why was Trump furious about Colin Kaepernick?
He didn't stand. He's one of the American footballers who didn't stand for the national anthem, which is weird because in Britain, going down on one knee is the absolute mark of, you know, sort of
Yes,
honour
of
something,
respect
isn't it?
and deference.
You
yeah,
try standing in front of the Queen.
The point with the footballers, though, is it is something respectful. They're not saying, oh, I don't care about the national anthem. They're saying, out of respect
Yes.
for fellow African Americans who are consistently being shot and killed in acts of random police brutality, I respectfully take a knee. And it's so horrifying that this man has now caused furore because, you know, people are out burning their Nike products. But sales went up by 31%, and that is because of two things. One is all the decent, nice Americans have gone out and bought Nike in solidarity, and all the racist ones have gone out to buy extra products in order to burn them.
I would like to be in their shoes.
Colin Kaepernick is so impressive, not only because of all the stuff he's done, the stands he's taken or whatever, but also he's made people think they're getting revenge on him by burning their own property.
Meanwhile, where has nudity been an issue recently?
The Royal Academy.
The Royal Academy, yes, the Royal Academy in London, we're saying it, yeah.
We're looking for there to be parity between the amount of female and male nudes on display.
Turns out, actually, ironically, you're more likely to see the penis displayed than the vagina. The nipple count is higher for women than for men, but the genital count...
But overall, sort of anecdotally, I think we all know that in art galleries there are many, many, many more pieces of work by men and many more objectified women.
Very true that, yeah.
And what I was thinking is this show is very much art.
Indeed.
That what we could do here is a political act to rebalance patriarchal forces is for me to be the only one clothed for the rest of the show. If you would all show your nipples, there would be a balance. It's what the people want.
I know my nipples,
left
not
my...
what they want. I would try... I think people...
Wow, that's one more nipple than was in art available earlier today.
Yeah. And that is just one of them.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. First subject is things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
This is Radio Novichok. Don't touch that dial.
Give yourself a spray of Lynx Africa, open up a can of Relentless, sit back in your cargo shorts and relax. This is Virgin Radio.
And with the time now at 3 a.m, it's probably time to just stare into space and think about where it all went wrong and maybe have a bit of a cry.
Yes, yes, yes. Coming up, we have got some of the sickest tracks from some of the illest artists around. This is Karaoke on Hospital Radio.
Well, today on The Archers, Daisy gets a bolt from the blue when she unexpectedly wanders into an abattoir.
Viking, Dogger, 40s, white. Oh, sorry, that's not the shipping forecast. That's my Tinder dates bio.
At number 2, that was Ed Sheeran with Galway Girl. And now at number 1 for the 50th week in a row, Ed Sheeran with Galway Girl.
And now the long-range forecast. It's going to be quite windy.
We welcome you to Radio 3. That's right, Just you.
And now it's time for Thought for the Day. Nope, it's gone.
Well, this is Gardener's Question Time, and a big welcome, especially to our younger viewers, like 92-year-old Enid from Surrey.
And next on Radio 4, it's Woman's Hour. And after that, 23 Men's Hours.
Must have coffee. That was first thought of the day.
On Jazz FM, it's a new entry at number 1. It's Skibbity-bap-bap, bibbity-bap beam. Sorry, I was having a stroke. It's Ed Sheeran, Galway.
Boris Johnson is joining us on the couch this morning. He's not a guest, it's just that's where he slept last night.
The shipping forecast. There will be shipping.
And we interrupt this broadcast to bring you the tragic news that Aretha Franklin has sadly passed away. And what better way to show our respect for Miss Franklin than with Galway Girl by Ed Sheeran.
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
She was bewitching. She danced as though possessed by the elements, a creature created by the rhythms of nature itself. More, Mrs. May, more!
Toby, I'm not feeling well, said Amber. Embarrassed, she turned red, then green.
As he climaxed inside her, John knew he would never be allowed to visit the Statue of Liberty again.
She looked on expectantly as he undid his zip and slowly removed his anorak.
She looked into his deep eyes and said, "You're the most attractive man I've ever seen." Oh, no, wait, hold on, I'm just ovulating.
How to Please a Lady, Chapter 1. Wet her spoons. Sorry, Weatherspoons.
After 5 unrelenting hours, James really began to regret making his safe word harder.
She gazed around her. There were shelves containing whips, blindfolds, chains, and she thought, Lidl really do sell everything.
The role play had gone wrong again. My bad, he said. I thought you said Mr. Arsey.
As he looked at her lower back tattoo of 2 little birds, one word came to mind. Swallows.
Instead of the passionate kiss he was expecting, she just gave him a peck on the cheek. Ah, he thought, this chicken is playing hard to get.
Reader, I shagged him.
His tender words still echoed around the dappled glade as he climbed aboard and
Do you come here often? Yes, I come here every week to get tested.
I know I'm supposed to get over you, he said, but it's too difficult. I'm constantly reminded of you every time I look at the nutritional info on a packet of food and I see fat trace.
OK, again, and the photo of Tom, Deborah Reed. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Rhys James, Deborah Frances-White and Tom Allen. Commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Ed Bird. Thanks for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night.